I stuttered real bad when I was a kid. I went to speech therapy until I was in 7th grade. And it was misery because in class I would have to read aloud in school, and that was awful because I'd stutter so bad. So I'm miserable. Everybody else is miserable because it's taken forever. And there's this one boy that always messed with me. And I'm trying to read and I'm stuttering. And he goes, "Spit it out, Elmer Fudd." And I'm like, man, that's the wrong cartoon character completely. And so by this time I'm good and hot, and I go, "You mean Porky Pig, you dirty prick." Teacher goes, "Jeremy, I didn't get no trouble over that." Oh man, so the wife ain't gonna like this one. Unfortunately, it's a true story. After I got divorced, I was on the dating scene for a while, and I just kept striking out. And I got put on a blind date, and I met her, and she pulls up in this car, and it's got Marvin the Martian and everything. It's got the air fresheners, the Marvin the Martian seat covers, just everything's Marvin the Martian. And we go, and we're out drinking, and I'm striking out left and right. And I'm just trying to have a good time with it. And so I looked over at her, and I said, "It is on tonight." She said, "No, it ain't." I said, "Oh, yeah, it is. I'll even pretend to be your favorite character." She goes, "What?" And I said, "You're coming to my place, you little slut." The sickest part about that is we dated for like a year and a half after that. Another true story. I was engaged to this lady, and we'd been together for a while, and you know the vibe that somebody's cheating. And so me and her was in the middle of a little makeout session, and she was cold and distant. And I'm like, I better have fun with this while I can. So I looked at her and I said, "I can't do this unless I pretend you're Hulk Hogan." And she goes, "What?" I said, I'm just playing. Don't mind me." So a few minutes pass, we're still making out. And I look at her and I said, "Hey, would you do me a favor?" She said, "Yeah, what?" I said, "I want you to look me right in the eyes and say, 'Let me tell you something, brother.'" So she got married to somebody else 2 months after that, so I think I called that. Oh, let's see here. I got my cards mixed up. Here we go. Oh. I'll go ahead and talk about my son for a minute. So, my son is autistic. He's highly functional. He's a good kid, but he's real particular about how he dresses. So, he had wore this button-up shirt. It was a fancy, nice shirt. And it had all black buttons except for the top button was white. And I said, "Buddy, you look like a little Catholic priest." And he was mad. Man, he was mad. "No, I don't." So a few minutes later, I said, "Hey, buddy, you want to go get some ice cream?" He was watching TV, so he couldn't hear me. He said, "What?" And I said, "Would you like to get some ice cream?" And he was mad, but he looked at me, he wanted ice cream, so he goes, "Amen." Before I introduce our next comedian, I want to leave you with this. I call it the farmer and the cow story. So there's this couple. They're city people. They decide to run through the countryside and look at the scenery. And they see this barn, and there's this big sign that says "Cow for $30,000. And the guy says, "Man, I gotta see this $30,000 cow." So they pull off. They see the farmer, and he says, "Hey, man, I'd like to see your cow." He said, "Yeah, come on in." So he opens up the barn door, and he sees this cow, and he goes, "Man, this is just a cow." He said, "Oh, no, check this out." So he looks underneath the cow, and he says, "My lord, this cow has the boobs of a woman." He said, "Yeah, that's right." And he's just shaking. So he slowly walks back to the car, and he's crying. He gets in the car, and his wife says, "Honey, what's wrong?" He said, "That man has a cow for $30,000 with the boobs of a woman, I said, you got the boobs of a cow and you ain't worth nothing. That's my time, guys. I want to go ahead and introduce. But before I do that, don't forget there's awesome food here at Green Oasis. They got hot chocolate, chili. It's going to get cold, so I'd highly suggest that. So, this fella here is a comedy buddy of mine. He's been at Laughing Gas, 4 and 50/50. Let me introduce Mr. David Smith.
Give it up for him.
Oh yeah! That guy.
Give it up one more time for Jeremy.
Woo, woo, woo!
Come on!
Oh
See
yeah!
how loud you guys can get. Let's rock the garden! Woo! There we go. Cooper, you're doing the best over there, buddy. I really appreciate that. Yeah, killing it. He's killing it. Oh, hi guys.
Hi.
I'm David Smith. For those of you that don't know me, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm sorry. So a little bit about me. Let's see. Besides this great face, what else do I got going on? You guys notice anything specific about Dave? Oh, thank you, Jeremy. My shoes. They are great. I'm glad you said something. Crowd work. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. David's got some big feet, guys. I wear a size 18 shoe. Yeah. You want to know what it's like to wear a size 18 shoe? No, you don't. I promise you. Where do you buy your shoes? What store do you go to get shoes? Target? That's nice. What store do you go to get your shoes? Everywhere? That must be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what where I can get my shoes? One place I've found so far, bigshoes.com. They assume that anyone with big feet just has to have something simple to look up. Big shoes. I need big shoes. And size 18. Big shoes. I want them big. And they don't really have a good selection at bigshoes.com, if you're not surprised. They kind of say, hey, you have big feet, freak. Get what you get. You know, that's why these shoes are meant for a basketball or football player, not an average white guy from Southeast Missouri. It's rough, you know, but we do what we can, you know. Big feet, man, they suck. It sucks having big feet. My toes get cold in a bath. Like, I mean, I'll be laying in a bath, you know, having a good time, belly sticking out, just looking good. My toes get cold. You can never find a bath that's deeper on one end. It's rough. What else is bad about having big feet? I'm glad you asked. You know what they say about big feet? It's not true. It's a beautiful garden out here. Second that. Oh man, we're having a good time. You guys having a good time? Yeah. Come on.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, get up for yourself.
Good stuff.
We're at a comedy show. We're laughing. We're having a good time. This is what we should be doing. I'm gonna take out my notes because I'm not a pro. Talked about the big feet. Oh, also, by the way, September 29th, today's date. Pretty important date. If I say so myself. Today is actually yours truly's birthday.
Woo, woo, woo! To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Don't sing, you're embarrassing me.
Happy
You guys don't have to
birthday
sing for me. Come on. Gosh, guys. It's crazy. I can't believe you remembered. What'd you get me?
Uh-oh. Big
I will take them. Also, you're rich. Oh, man. It's nice to be doing comedy. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I'm standing in front of a bunch of strangers, telling jokes, opening up. It's a lot better than my last gig, you know? Last job I had, I read audiobooks for Audible. Yeah. But I only did children's books. I actually did children's pop-up books for Audible. Yeah, it was a weird gig. It was a weird gig. Can you imagine a pop-up book on Audible? This is basically what it was. Little Emily was so excited to take her dog to the park. But there was something about her dog that was different than all the rest. Clifford, the big red dog, he's right there! Was a big, big dog, bigger than all the rest, unlike Cooper. Ugh. So it's nice. I'm glad to be doing that here. Glad I'm coming out here, making you guys laugh. Let's have a good time, Let's look at these notes one more time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, big feet. One thing about big feet is, the stair machine, the Stairmaster at the gym? I don't fit on that. I don't fit on the Stairmaster. That's at least what I tell the people at the gym when I'm eating a protein bar in the corner. I don't fit on the Stairmaster. It just doesn't work. I have to go it sideways, like so thin. Yeah, I hate the gym. I hate it. Obviously, look at me. I hate the gym. I don't hate the gym for the reasons that most people hate the gym. I don't hate the gym for the hard work. I enjoy that. That's fun, building up a sweat. I'm doing it right here, right now, in front of you guys. I enjoy it. Why not, No, I hate the gym because I hate the way they talk to me in a gym. See, I've seen a lot of blank faces. A lot of you don't realize the way they talk to a fat guy in a gym. They talk to me like I'm a kid who didn't wet the bed for the first time. They're like, "Oh, hey, buddy! Look at you! You're here! You're doing it! Good for you!" Meanwhile, there's a guy next to me, Eric, just doing a PR on the bench, just I'm just shaking up a protein shake like, yeah, it's just hard work and dedication,
Yeah.
Just, you gotta really commit if you're wanting to do this. Like, it's not workout, it's a lifestyle. You gotta change who you are, really, if you want to look as good as me. That's what I would do. Hate the gym. Hate it. Hate it, man. I hate it. I don't look good in the gym selfie mirrors. I'd argue they're like funhouse mirrors, right? They make me look bigger than I actually am. There's something distorted about it. When I look in the mirror in my bathroom, I'm like, dang, David, you looking good, boy. Oh, naughty. I go to the gym, and I'm just like, who's that fat guy? And I'm absolutely certain of something. People go to the gym just to work out enough to build up a sweat so they can take a selfie for their friends. I've seen it happen. I know it's a fact. They go in there, they take 10 minutes on the treadmill, and they take a selfie like, dedication, hard work. If you're not going to change, nothing will change. I'm sweating as much as them just on the walk in. Just from the parking lot. And I park next to the building. I'm just a big guy. Like, it's, they don't have automatic doors, and it's just really heavy, and you get it. God, it sucks. Hate the gym. Hate it. You know what else I hate? Having to check my notes. Let me check them. So organized, guys. I'm such a pro. You should be so happy that you get to watch me today. So great. You know why else I hate the gym? Because I love fast food too much. I really do. I love it's too easy to eat fast food these days. You pull up to a window and they just push it out at you. This gross teenager who's just wiped his hand on his nose, hands you a burger in a bag that's already soaked up all the grease, It's disgusting, but it's the best thing to do with your day. I love fast food. It's great. I order fast food, and sometimes I order so much food that when I pull up, they're expecting like the entire Griswold clan to pull up in a minivan or something. Like they're expecting a full platonic family, like the perfect group of people. Instead, it's me just struggling to get my wallet out of my back pocket, like, hold on. 1 second. How much did you say it was? I just hand him a sweaty dollar bill. Love fast food. It's so good. So good for you. That's why it looks so fit. I bet Chris Hemsworth doesn't eat fast food. You look at that man, Thor, just that body. You know he's not pulling up at a Wendy's like, I'll take a large fry. And you still got the Baconator in stock? Oh yeah, give me the Baconator. I know he's not doing it. I am. I'm doing it on a daily basis. It's great. I like to pull up to a drive-through window and like play pranks on them. Innocent pranks, things that they'll never notice. Like I'll do a different voice at the drive-through window. One time I did Mr. Miyagi for like 30 minutes. And it was just super confusing because I kept telling them fries on, fries off, fries on, fries off. And they hated me. God. Are we having a good time, guys? Are we having a good time? Am I making you laugh? Good. I'm really glad. I am really glad. This is great. This is a great way to spend my birthday. Turning 24 today, right? Yeah, 24. I'm out of my my Michael Jordan year, whatever. Is it Michael Jordan that has a 24? I don't know. Is it Michael Jordan? It is? I knew that. And LeBron?
So you were right twice.
I know sports. It's kind of just like natural, you know? I'm just an athlete. You know what else I did today? This is what I'm going to leave you on. Today, I visited this one thing in our country that's like the only place you can go that's just fully lawless. Just the wild, wild west. I went to a steakhouse. It's the only place in the world that's like it anymore. Today, if you brought a single peanut into a school, they will lock you behind bars. At a steakhouse, there's just fat guys eating them out of a bucket. What do they do with the shells? They throw them at the floor. They're just... If you have a peanut allergy, you walk in there, it's death. Immediate death. And they don't care. It's the Wild West. Steakhouses are the only place you can go these days that you can feel like a real cowboy. You know what I mean? I find myself saying things in steakhouses that I wouldn't normally say in like conversation. I'll walk in, I'll hit them saloon doors. Howdy, ma'am. I'll take sarsaparilla and your biggest slab of meat. How much?
Yeah.
I'll take your second biggest slab of meat. And I'll tell you, that second biggest slab of meat was not worth it. But it was great. I enjoyed it. But $40, like, come on.
Yikes.
Like, my buddy can do that on the backyard on his grill, you know. Yes, he's shirtless and he's drank 30 Busch Light, but, you know, he's having a good time. It's fine. Yes, you're going to get a couple chest hairs on the steak. It's protein. Stop complaining. And he might sweat on the steak a little bit, just a little sweat. Hey, it's fine. You know, A1 salty. You know, you guys, you enjoy it. It's great. It's fine. You love it. Okay? Anyway, I'm David Smith. I turned 24 today. We're having a good time.
Woo-woo!
Thank you.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, that was good. I never used this mic, but I'm going to need this real quick because, for one, I ain't going to be able to look y'all in the eye after this one. So, this is yet going to be another one my wife ain't going to like. Sorry, honey. This is an absolute true story. My wife, my lovely wife, is a professional party clown.
Woo-woo!
So she gets all decked out and clown face and all that. And it's amazing, but our love life is complicated now. Because we'll be upstairs while the kids are downstairs watching cartoons, and we're trying to be all discreet and everything, and all them kids can hear is
Whoops!
they know something's up. Oh, I lost my notes, but I don't need them because I know this fella personally. He's a good guy. He is a Marine veteran, he's been touring the U.S. right now. He's everywhere between Laughing Gas and Cape Girardeau, St. Louis. He's just been to Texas. He opened up for Billy Gardell for Mike and Molly, which is impressive to me.
Yes.
Give it up for Mr. Eric Ruessler.
Woo, woo, woo! All right, Eric.
I know you use this next one.
He's like, what am I thinking?
Hey, round of applause for Jeremy, everybody.
Woo, woo!
Oh, man. Are we having fun?
Yeah.
This is cool. This is cool. I've never been on the set of The Secret Garden before, so it's nice. It's kind of halfway between Narnia and the Garden of Eden. It's kind of nice. We've got a horse. You know? We've got a severed elephant head behind me. Safari trophy back there. That's kind of cool. Oh, no, this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We've got such a nice, diverse group of white people. Yeah, Poplar Bluff really showing everything they got. That's cool. No, I'm happy to be here. This is kind of fun. Like he said, I've been kind of all over the place lately. I like doing outdoor shows, but if I start to shiver, then give me a minute so I can put my hoodie on. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but like right before the pandemic, Domino's started doing this like promotional thing, right? Where they said that they were going to pave the roads around your house if there were potholes, you know, and if it caused you to like jostle your pizza or whatever. And I just started to wonder, how long is it going to be before corporations and restaurants start buying up entire neighborhoods, you know? Like if you go to a big city, they're not going to ask what high school you went to. They're going to know like what restaurant you came from, you know? Like, can you imagine like if your dad got a nice job and you'd go tell your friends, you'd be like, did you hear my dad got a new job? We're moving out to Cheesecake Factory Fountains. And your friends would be like, man, I guess I'm just live and die here in Burger King Row, I guess. You know? Don't forget me, you're a true Whopper, you know what I mean? Or like you're on a date and you're like trying to impress a girl and you're like, well, don't judge me, but I live in Taco Bell Towers. The plumbing sucks, but I've got the Doritos Loco suite, so it's pretty nice, you know? Or like, you know, you're thinking about how you want to spend your final years, you know, you think about retirement, you're like, I think I want to go and be by the water. I want to go out to Red Lobster Harbor, you know? Watch the sunset over the Cheddar Bay, you know? But like you made bad investment choices and now you're in Long John Silver Shores, staring at hush puppy ponds, wondering where it all went wrong, you know? That's rough. I know this is, speaking of Red Lobster, I had a buddy of mine come to me recently, and I know this is a clean show. Bear with me, all right? We're going to get there together. I had a buddy of mine come to me recently. We were in the Marines together, and he said, hey, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm gay. I was like, that's cool, man. We were friends before. We're still friends. If you ever need anything, you can come. You can talk to me. And he goes, well, it's funny you mention it. This guy asked me to go on a date with him, and he said he wants to take me out to Red Lobster, but in exchange, I have to agree to let him lick my toes. What do I even say to something like that?
No.
I was like, is it Lobster Fest, man? Like I'm not gay, but that sounds like a pretty good deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'd call up my wife and be like, babe, put on your eating pants. Because I'm coming home with soggy socks and Cheddar Bay biscuits, okay? Like, we're going to have a party. I'm just saying, if somebody is brave enough to trade shrimp scampi to suckle at my salmon snatchers for a little minute, they deserve something, you know? I'm down with that. I was in Nashville recently, and it's a super crowded place, a big party town, you know? And I was walking down the street, and this guy bumped into me. And no big deal, right? You know, that happens all the time. But he turned around and he got really mad. He started yelling at me. And he was like, I'm going to fight you. And he was cussing at me and stuff. And I couldn't help but wonder, like, you're not actually mad at me for bumping into you. You're mad at me for something else that's happening in your life. And what if guys started yelling about things that were actually bothering them, you know, instead of trying to make themselves sound tough? Like, what if he would have bumped into me and been like, my wife has dated only black guys before, and I'm starting to get self-conscious about it, you know? Or like, Like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent this month, and you're really pissing me off. Like, what if guys just started going off on things that they actually were mad about instead of pretending it was something else, you know? I went to school after I got out of the Marines. I went to an adult film school, but hold on. I just realized that sounded like, no, it's not an adult, it was a film school, comma, for adults, all right? Or what I thought. But turns out it was just a high school class. So I walked in 31 years old, and I was the oldest person in there by 15 years. The first day, my teacher was like, hey, why don't you go mingle with the other classmates? And I'm like, I don't think that's legal. But it's weird because, you know, kids these days, they're all entitled and everything's kind of crazy and topsy-turvy. One of the kids in my class was gender fluid. We heard this term? Everybody know? Just means that one day they think they're a boy, one day they think they're a girl, which, whatever, it's America. Do what you want to do, so long as it doesn't hurt anybody, you know? But they didn't want us to talk, they didn't want us to use any pronouns like he, she, her, him. Instead, they wanted us to call them you people. Those of you that are laughing have minority friends, because if you're not, they're not super cool with that term, right? So it's like, and then he wanted me to take charge of the class, you know, my teacher did. It was like, why don't you go in there and tell them to get to work? And I'm like, I'm not about to walk into a room and be like, hey, you people, let's get to work, all right? You people are being pretty lazy, and I'm sick of you people showing up late. Like, if we were in a big city and you said that to someone, there would be a fight, and no one would be on your side. You know what I mean? But I'll be honest, at the beginning of the year, I didn't like you people. You know, you people got on my nerves. You people thought they were better than everybody else. But then as the year went on and I got to know them, I'm like, hey, you people are pretty cool, you know? And I'm not a bigot, but I still don't know if I would let my daughter date you people, you know what I mean? I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm happy. I'm happy somebody showed up. I was a little worried, but Jeremy put on a good show. How about a round of applause for Jeremy, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I'm glad you guys are here. My wife shaved my back for this. It's a big night, you know. Don't let all that hard work go to waste. It's like 45 minutes of effort right there, you know. We got any other hairy guys in here? Nobody? Oh, all of Poplar Bluff is like seals, huh? Smooth like dolphins down here. Some of you were like, and then your lady was like, She betrayed you, you know? She threw you under the bus. It's all right. Wear it with pride. Wear it with pride. I don't even know how hairy my back is. I just know it must be pretty hairy because the clippers like go down an octave, you know? Should just be like, like that. Like she just asked the clippers a hard math problem, you know? And it's like, I gotta think about this one, you know? It's rough. It's rough. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, I heard, I sold that joke one night and someone in the audience was like, ew. I'm like, ew? Did you think this beard just magically stopped at my jaw? I have to wake up every morning and shave my neck like I'm giving my neck a windshield, you know? Like, if I didn't, it would be a constant line of hair from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I don't even really buy body wash anymore. It's just shampoo and conditioner all the way up and down. Doesn't make sense. I can't even... It kind of sucks. I'm always constantly like in the middle of becoming a werewolf, you know? Like if you paused a movie like right when the guy sees the full moon, that's me, you know? Like that's me at all times. It sucks. I can't even, my wife one time asked me to like trim up my privates, you know? And it didn't even make sense. It just looked like my pants had a bald spot, you know what I mean? Like, looked like my crotch went through chemo, you know? Like, it's like my penis tried to pave a patio in his front lawn, you know? Didn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to me. But you can do what you gotta do. And I don't understand because I'm so hairy, but I'm also going bald, you know? Like there's hair everywhere, but it's thinning up here. And I gotta commit hard to the comb over because I'm scared if I shave my head, I'll look like a racist. you know? But that's just one of the struggles being a straight white man will get you, you know? Not a lot of people know how hard it is for us out here. A lot of you are like, yeah, because it's all straight white men, you know? Usually if there's a black person in the crowd, they're like, wait, what a minute, what did you say? I also don't know how to dress. My wife dresses me. Does anybody else here, your wife pick out your clothes? Yeah, you in the back. I get it. You look nice. I can tell. Some of you are like, no, I can tell that too. You know, I can tell. Like, you need a woman's touch or a queer eye. Like, you need, like, it's okay. It's all right. I like it. I like when she picks out my clothes, but she started assigning, like, tasks to it, you know? She started saying stuff like, oh, I bought you these new shorts. They'll look good on you while you mow the lawn. Or like, hey, I got you these new shoes. It'll look good while you walk the dog, you know? And then for my birthday, she got me a whole bunch of sleeveless undershirts. So I guess she wants me to start beating her. How many times does a crime have to occur in an outfit for it to become the official, you know, like, how many times did the cops show up and they're like, well, I'm judging by his shirt, we're about to walk in on some domestic violence. Like, it seems a little crazy to me. I give off a strong dad vibe, which, I mean, I am a dad, so that's cool, and I've just kind of leaned hard into it, you know? But I did have a lady come up to me after a show one time, and she was like, you know, I've always had a thing for dads, and you're giving off a strong Tom Selleck vibe. And I was like, okay, Magnum P.I., that's kind of cool, right? And she was like, no. Blue Bloods. Guys, he's 72 years old in that show, okay? All right? Like, she's telling me I look like a spokesperson for fixed mortgages and AARP. That's not the pickup line you think it is, ladies, okay? You look like you take Metamucil and are in bed by 7, you know? Like, that's what she's telling me. It's hard. It's weird. It's weird. I got 2 kids. We got anybody with kids out here?
Woo-woo.
A couple of you. Some of you were like, that's why we're here drinking on a Thursday. Don't talk about them. All right? They're home with the grandparents right now. We don't want to bring them up. Now I got a little boy. He's 7. We just got to this Ryan's toy review phase. Does anybody know about Ryan's toy review?
Yep.
Oh, okay. A couple of the real parents. You hear the depressed groans. If you don't know who Ryan is, he's this little boy that's on YouTube. And he made $44 million last year by opening up toys and being like, I like them. And then they send him money, right?
Yeah.
And he makes so much money that his parents just get to like stay home all day and like play games and make videos with him. And my kids don't understand why I can't do the same thing, you know? Like tonight I was leaving, I was like, bye buddy, I gotta go to work. And he gave me an attitude. He was like, Ryan's dad doesn't have to go to work. I was like, well, that's because Ryan's dad has a little boy that's out here hustling, buddy. Yeah. Right? Why don't you put down the ABCs and pick up a video camera? We got bills to pay, all right? There's no free rides in this house. It's hard. He started to ask more in-depth questions as he gets older, you know. He was walking out of his room the other day, and he took a look around. He was just like, Dad, are we poor? You know? I was like, no, buddy. I like walking around with a giant half-finished tattoo on my arm. He's like, well, what is that? I'm like, it's the exact moment we ran out of money, okay? To the dollar, right here. You can see it. That's rough. I lost my job in 2020. I woke up one day and they decided I was no longer essential. Anybody else lose their jobs? No, I'm the only loser. Okay, cool. That's a good one for the ego. No, but I woke up one day, I didn't have a job anymore, and it was a rough year. And I didn't know how to tell my kids that Christmas was going to suck. You know, like, that's a hard conversation. So I decided to do the responsible thing as an adult and lied to them. And I basically just sat them down and I was like, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but don't expect a lot of presents this year because Santa died. And they took it pretty well, I'll be honest. They were like, oh, was it COVID? Did he get the Rona, Dad? And I was like, no, buddy, no. He was on Kobe's helicopter. No, Oh, he made a joke about someone we've never met before. Guys, his wife is dating again. If she's moved on, so can you, okay? It's all right. But it's kind of hard. I've got a daughter, too. She's getting older. She's in junior high now. And girls in junior high, I heard one groan just from, the experienced parents in the back. They're like, we raised 5 of them. It almost killed us. No, she's in junior high. And if you don't know, girls at that age are just like little sociopaths, you know? Like, they're just mean because they can be. And I picked her up from school one day, and she was in this group of girls, and she came to the car, and she kind of had her head down, you know? She was shuffling her feet. And I was like, what's wrong, baby? What's going on? She was like, Dad, those girls over there, they were being mean to me. They were bullying me. But don't worry, I took the high road. I didn't say anything back. I was like, why not? I grew up with their parents. Her mother is a whore, all right? Like, she slept with the entire football team. And we weren't even good. We were 1-9. So you can't blame school spirit. She just likes to party, okay? And her dad over there peed in his pants in 7th grade, and nobody ever forgot about it. You should tell her that. Because it's not going to do anything to that little girl, like, psychologically, but you know she's going to go home later and be like, Dad, somebody said that you peed in your pants in 7th grade. Is that true? And he's going to be, like, eating dinner or something, you know, and just like, surely they're not still talking about it, right? Like, what is this, on TikTok or something? But, no, she's 13. She's 13 now, and she's starting to go through some big changes. And you can tell by the energy right now. Everybody's like, surely he's not going to talk about that. I drove an hour and a half tonight specifically to talk about that. So buckle up, here we go, you know? No, she used to come home from school and she'd be like, Dad, guess what? We watched Frozen in school today. I'd be like, oh, that's so sweet. Now she comes home and she's like, Dad, guess what? My friend didn't get a period. It's just a UTI. Like, how about a little warning for Daddy next time, sweetheart? Okay? Like, I'm not prepared to handle this situation. But she keeps doing this thing where, like, she and her mother will go into their room or into her room and then, like, have secret conversations, and then, like, one or both of them will come out, like, crying but simultaneously being like, it's all right, there's just a lot going on, don't worry about it. And when I was growing up in my household, we were real strict Christian. Like, we didn't talk about puberty. It was the devil's subject, you know what I mean? Like, until I watched Childbirth for the first time, I thought you could just tug on an umbilical cord and it would retract like an old vacuum cleaner, you know? So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm like, I don't want it to be like that for her. So I gathered up all my courage and I walked in the room and I looked her in the eyes and I was just like, baby, whatever you're going through, whatever's going on right now, you can tell me, all right? If you can tell Mom, you can tell me. I'm here for you. She thought about it for a minute, you know. She looked at my wife. They kind of nodded. She looked back at me. She was like, all right. And she flashed me. And I did what a lot of you just did, which is like, I was wrong, and just walked out of the room like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to handle that situation. Because there's no proper way to handle that, right? I can't be like, oh, gross, put them away, oh. Because then she's going to grow up with a complex and be all self-conscious. But at the same time, you can't be like, those are coming in nice, you know? There's no way to handle that properly. It's not in any of the baby books, you know, like heat up the bottle, change the diaper, compliment her figure from time to time, you know, like you don't know how to handle that situation. My wife's pretty awesome. She's the smartest person I've ever met until you ask her a question, you know. Does anybody have a lady like that in your life? A couple of you are secretly like, you know, like nodding secretly. But we were trying to remodel our kitchen one day, and we went to look for countertops, you know, and we walked into Lowe's, and I was like, well, what about this one? And she was like, I like it. I was like, me too. Job done. Let's get it. Let's wrap it up. Let's go home. And she goes, oh, no. I don't like it for our kitchen. Whose kitchen do you think I'm talking about, you know? Do you think that I'm just going to become like a Jehovah's Witness of kitchen remodels, you know? Just go door to door and be like, do you like this countertop? Do you like this countertop? Like, no, this is for us. And she's like, oh, well, you've got to be more specific. I was like, you're right, this one's on me. I apologize. I should have known. She's a little worried. She's a little worried about the way I think, some of the things that I say, which is understandable, you know. But she really wants us to she wants us to start going back to church, which is cool. I'm not going to make fun of God or religion if that's your thing. I'm on your side. I'm on your team. Sometimes you mention church and people are like, oh, what's he going to do? But have you ever taken a look around church and just been like, surely we don't have to, oh my gosh, that scared me to death. I thought I was going to get attacked by like a troll or something. Oh man, the hills have sticky notes or something. No, but have you ever taken a look around church, like you walk in and you're like, surely we don't have to spend eternity with everybody here, right? You know? Like the lady that held the door open for us the other day, she had this bright Bible highlighter yellow dress on, you know, with a crown of thorns and a cross on it, and the words, best day ever. Whose team are you on, Karen? All right? Look, I'm not saying it's not important to the plot of the story. I'm just saying it's probably not one of his top 10 favorite days, okay? Probably not like, you know, the day he got new sandals, his bar mitzvah. Being murdered's probably not going to make the list, you know? And some of you look a little offended by that, all right? Spoiler alert, he makes it. The book's been out for about 2,000 years. You guys got to get caught up at some point. I don't know. There's even a movie about it, you know? But then you make your way into church and you get into the sanctuary and they've got the choir singers, you know? But there's always that one choir singer that's just going above and beyond the call of duty. You know what I mean? Like they start interjecting their own lines in between verses of the song. You know, like they'll sing something and then just be like, yes, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. Ew. All right? I think you love Jesus a little bit differently than I love Jesus, okay? Could you stop having a whispergasm into the microphone? My kids are here, and that's not something I want to explain on the drive home today, okay? And then there's always that one lady out in the crowd that starts off, you know, with her hands down here, just rocking side to side. But by the end of the song, she's got both hands overhead, just waving back and forth, like she's announcing a used car sale or something. You know? I was like, what are you doing, Brenda? You got a question or something? Put your hands down. You trying to get extra credit? Because that's not really how this works here. You think God's in heaven, right? Look at Brenda. Man, she is really giving it her all this week. Hey, Peter, write her name down. We want to make sure she you know what? Let's just take her now, you know? I guarantee you if a giant hand came through the ceiling and just plucked Brenda out of the audience, all the other hands would go straight down, you know? They'd be like, oh, I can't go to heaven. I got stuff to do this week, you know? Those gutters are still dirty, just coming up with excuses. And listen, if you're laughing at that joke and you're Catholic, you shouldn't be, all right? And that's just because all of your songs sound exactly the same before adding a little bit of inflection, all right? But as the rule of my family is that if I make any comments, if I say anything stupid or make any jokes at all, I have to go sit in the car until church is over, because my wife knows me, you know? But we're making our way. They did the communion, right? And they always say, like, they relate it to a Bible verse. And they say, like, this is my body. But next to the word body on the big screen was an asterisk with, like, you look at the bottom and it says gluten-free options available at the sound booth. What part of the body is gluten-free, you know? That still sounds like a lot of carbs. I've been trying to watch my figure. Is there like a keto Christ I could try out this week, you know? Dip something in a queso di Cristo. That's how I want to take. That's how I would like to take my Jesus this week. But we're making our way down to the front, you know? We're making our way down. And I lock eyes with this particular individual. And this particular individual was a dwarf. And I know what you're thinking. Everybody's like, surely this tall jerk's not really going to make fun of someone with a disability. No, I wouldn't. I would never do that. Unless we were really good friends. Then yeah, I probably would, you know? But this particular dwarf was on a hoverboard with blue and red flashing lights, like a patrolman for the Lollipop Guild out looking for sinners. 10 years ago, that sentence didn't exist. If I would have come up to you on the street and been like, "Sir, there's a dwarf on a hoverboard in church," you'd be like, "This guy needs medication." All right? No, I'm just supposed to act like it's a normal, everyday occurrence, you know? And my wife sees me see him and just gets the keys out of her purse. And I tried, Poplar Bluff. I really did. I tried as hard as I could, but eventually I just looked at her and I go, "Best day ever." Guys, I'm Eric Ruessler. Thank you so much for coming out. Give me a round of applause for Jeremy one more time. I did something wrong. You want to come take this? It's yelling at me.
Thank y'all again for coming. One more round of applause for Eric Ruessler. Guys, one more round of applause for y'all and good night.
Yay! Woo, 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 woo!